If you use Claude Code for generating content on bulk, so as an example, I am using hyperframes for creating automatically reels for Instagram, TikTok, and so forth. And instead of doing it one by one, I have a kind of special prompt which combines the goal command with the loop command, and then I create, let's say, 10, 15, sometimes even 60 reels overnight. And that means the next day I have to go through every single file. And if we have a look into my assets folder, we can see I am creating a lot of content. And I don't want to go into every folder and check what was generated, where is the video file, or where's, for instance, a file for the metadata, which will be used for publishing the content, as an example, to TikTok, Instagram, or any other platform. And instead, what I did is I created a simple skill that creates for any folder that I point to it, a specific dashboard, which is also interactive. So as an example, we are right now looking at the dashboard from this specific folder, which I just showed here. So we have the research sources, we have the gallery of all the specific videos that I created. And instead of finding everything, this skill prepares everything for me in a nice overview. So I can see I have in total 8 reels. It's still in the status review. So what kind of content did I try to recreate? So recreated from who, runtime, call to action, so really specific data to the generation itself. And apart from that, I also have one tab for the reel. So let's say I want to watch the videos, which I usually do. Then I could make it, first of all, a little bit bigger and then set the speed to 2 and then click also on run. So I can watch it fast. I don't have to go through my Explorer, find the files. It saves a lot of time doing that, because before I just went into every folder, try to figure out where was something saved. And yeah, it was just really time consuming. And we have also now a dynamic chapter, which is about the research sources. So, and the part that saves even more time is the fact that I can use this specific view here for kind of communicating with my Claude Code session. So I can simply say that doesn't look good, like add something here, add something here, add something here. I mean, that doesn't make sense right now, but I think you got the point. And then all of the data here will be stored in an inbox, which will be picked up by the Claude Code session, because it's listening to the port. And whenever I change something, it will be notified. Then it checks the content of the inbox, which is kind of the communication layer. So I can simply go ahead, add here my comments, and then tell Claude, hey, I added some comments, pick it up, and then also make it better. Instead of having a lot of conversations like video 3, you need to change XY, and in video 8, you forgot to add a call to action or something similar. And the part which makes the skill actually really useful is that it's not tied to, let's say, videos or anything else. So Claude checks the content. Are there, for instance, video files, pictures, PowerPoint files, Word documents, or anything else? And then it will try to figure out what is the best component for representing the data, which brings us also to Excalidraw, where we have kind of a high-level overview how it works. And everything starts with you. So you use Claude Code, or for instance also Codex. You can easily migrate it to any other coding agent. And then Claude takes care of executing the skill. So you have to give the path to the folder you want to analyze. Then there's a Python script which takes care of the classification of the data. As an example, if it is an MP4 file, a movie file, or anything that might be a video, then we will have a video grid. If we are dealing with images, then we will use a gallery with a card grid. If it is an audio file, then we will have a component for playing the audio. If it is a doc, then we will embed it with an iframe and so forth. And of course, you can extend it by any other data type with a specific component. And the great thing is that since we're using Claude Code, we can still leverage the power of the specific large language model, which means if there's something that does not have a component yet, then Claude can check what kind of data is it and then find also ad hoc a proper component for representing the data, which means this skill is really flexible. And the next thing we do is we render it, and then we have the HTML file, which we just saw here. And then there are 2 ways of serving it. So we can either just display it as a static file. Let's say you want to share that file with a colleague or send it via email, whatever. Then you can also just pick the HTML file, send it as an attachment. But we have also the interactive way, which means we need to serve it via the localhost, which allows us to also have two endpoints. So we have a post endpoint, which means if I change something here, let's say I add a comment or I reject it or something similar, then this data will be stored in the inbox as a JSON file. And then we have the get endpoint. So Claude is able to consume this data. And then it knows exactly that I, for instance, added a comment for the first video with, let's say, change the color from green to blue. Claude is able to know exactly which file am I talking about. So I don't have to tell Claude this specific comment was meant for video 1 or something similar. And that is actually already kind of on a high level, the architecture of that specific skill. And I can tell you, from my own experience, it saved me a lot of time because I did it first, as I said, manually, and I was kind of really frustrated because I was just like going around all the folders and then trying to figure out where was the video stored, and Hyperframes creates a bunch of files, so like really a lot of files when you use it. So I thought I need something that helps me to kind of get directly to the point where I know this data is important for me. I need to view it or also review it and then iterate on that specific file, and not having the issue of navigating through the Explorer and then try to figure out everything and having like 10 tabs open. And last but not least, let's have a look into the Claude Code session where I started it. So it was really simple. The only thing I was executing the skill. I mean, it can also say create a dashboard, and then it will know it has to execute the dashboard skill. And then I have to point it to the specific path. And I also decided to make it live, so serving it via the localhost so that I can also use the endpoints for saving data, which will be then sent back to the inbox. And that's actually the output. So one single prompt, and Claude took care of analyzing every single file, think about what is interesting for me, and then also representing it in a proper structure that I already see all the videos, I have the overview, I have the research. And in case I want to go into that specific folder, then I can simply click here on the button, and then it will open for me the gallery and the specific folder. So I can still navigate through the Explorer, but I don't have to search for something. So I think the skill is definitely a really good example on easy things you can build quite fast for saving a lot of time. And in case you're interested in this skill as well, but apart from that also in learning how to use Claude Code, then feel free to check out my community. You can of course find here the skill, it's attached at the bottom. But I have also a lot of content around Claude Code on how to use it and enable you also how to create these things by yourself. And of course, I also cover the boring stuff, which is setup installation. So how to install Python, Claude Code, Node.js, how to create an SSH key, but also how to work with Git as someone who never coded. So if you're a beginner, the community is definitely worth checking out. And in case you do have any question regarding the skill, feel free to ask me and add it to the comments, and we will see each other in the next video.